Okay, so we come now to the third and final segment of this most recent 2015 public opinion poll. And in this segment, we ask questions related to the Barbados Labour Party and former Prime Minister Owen Arthur. The intention in this section was to answer the question as to the extent to which former Prime Minister Owen Arthur's popularity was directly related to that of the Barbados Labour Party, or was he a key factor in the BLP's popularity? We get to that question in the end after we've analyzed the data, but the initial question that we asked was whether or not the Barbados Labour Party was unified enough to govern effectively. We asked this question in 2012, and in 2012 the results were surprising because what we found in 2012 was that only 40% of Barbadians felt the BLP was sufficiently enough, united enough to govern, while 37% said that they were not sufficiently united enough. So what we found was that equal numbers of Barbadians, taking into consideration the fact that we have a plus or minus 5% margin of error, thought the Barbados Labour Party was united and also disunited enough to govern, which essentially said that Barbadians were neither here nor there on the issue of unity within the Barbados Labour Party. What we found in 2015 now is that we have 41% of Barbadians saying the Barbados Labour Party is not sufficiently united to govern, while 33% are saying that they are sufficiently united. So we moved from a situation where it was even numbers saying both things to a situation where now a majority of Barbadians believe that the BLP is not united enough to govern. Now you recall in the first report, we found that a majority of Barbadians wanted the Barbados Labour Party. And I think that the fact that even though a majority of Barbadians want the BLP, that a majority of Barbadians who answered this question are still saying they do not think that the party is sufficiently united to govern, this really answers the question of what is missing in terms of the Barbados Labour Party being able to score a landslide as far as their politics is concerned, because clearly this is the Achilles heel now of the Barbados Labour Party, the fact that more Barbadians believe that it is not sufficiently united enough to govern. The next question relates to the Barbados Labour Party's decision, or Barbados Labour Party and the decision of former Prime Minister Owen Arthur to resign from the Barbados Labour Party. We asked this question, we disaggregated the data according to party support, and what we found was that 43% of all Barbadians support former Prime Minister Owen Arthur's decision to resign from the BLP, while 38% of Barbadians said that they do not support his decision. Within the context of the margin of error, essentially Barbadians are saying the same thing on this issue. They're really neither here nor there. Nothing definitive has come to the fore regarding his decision to resign from the Barbados Labour Party. As would be expected, Democratic Labour Party supporters, larger numbers of them, 50%, said he should have resigned, while Barbados Labour Party supporters, 47% of them, said he should not have resigned. And in both instances, those were the larger numbers. As far as the uncertain voters were concerned, a majority of them, 41%, said that he should resign, and they supported his decision to resign from the Barbados Labour Party. With former Prime Minister Arthur having resigned from the Barbados Labour Party, the next question of inquiry was whether or not we now see him as being genuinely independent, or do we really see him more as a B or as a D? And that was a question that was posed. What we found was that here also there was no overwhelming view among Barbadians. 28% said that he's independent and they see him as independent, which would be the largest majority. Then 24% still see him as more a B than a D, while 9% see him as more a D than a B, and 38% are unsure or won't say. Essentially what we get from this data is that the majority of people who answered the question see him as either independent or as being a Barbados Labour Party person at heart, which is consistent with what Mr. Arthur has been saying. However, there is not a large perception among more than 9% of the population that he is to be seen as a Dem. Well, the final section relates to the question of whether or not people are more or less inclined to support the Barbados Labour Party now that Mr. Arthur has gone, which really answers the question as to the impact of his departure. We included this question. We were asking people, now that Mr. Arthur is gone, are you more likely to support the Barbados Labour Party? Are you less likely to support the Barbados Labour Party? Or are you neither here nor there? Does it make no difference? What we found is that for the majority of Barbadians who answered this question, 53% of them said Mr. Arthur's presence or absence makes no difference to them. Followed by 16% who said they are now more inclined to vote for the Barbados Labour Party than they were before, and 8% said that they are now less inclined to vote for the Barbados Labour Party than before. And then of course 23% are saying they are unsure or won't say. It's significant in this question that 32% of those who said they're more inclined to vote B actually indicated support for the Barbados Labour Party in this poll, which really says to me that yes, there is a residual support that could be forthcoming. When we're looking at 16%, even a fraction of that would make a difference. But with the swing already in the vicinity of 11%, 11.5%, it does not appear as though the extent to which his absence or presence is concerned is really making a fundamental difference. The swing is very significant, and certainly his absence from the Barbados Labour Party has not made matters any worse for the BLP. But the critical question in all of this, though, is the fact, or the critical point that has to be made in all of this, though, is the fact that we're seeing a significant increase in support for the Barbados Labour Party now that Mr. Arthur is gone. And since the poll essentially has taken a snapshot of this point in time with him gone, the presumption is that he has been a factor in the Barbados Labour Party's popularity or his absence. So when I said in the beginning that we really need to answer that question, based on all of the data, what we can conclude is that clearly the departure of Mr. Arthur has not hurt the Barbados Labour Party. I don't think, however, we can say that the departure of Mr. Arthur has helped the Barbados Labour Party get to where it is. I really think the more significant factor in the demise of the popularity of the Democratic Labour Party has been the Democratic Labour Party itself. So we could argue then that Mr. Arthur's departure from the BLP has helped the situation. There is still a perception that there's a level of disunity within the BLP that would impact on its ability to govern. So there is a lingering problem even with him gone, suggesting that there are other things the Barbados Labour Party has to deal with other than Mr. Arthur. But certainly we can argue that his departure has not hurt the party, but we cannot conclusively say that his departure is responsible for the huge increase in support for the Barbados Labour Party. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is the third and final component of the public opinion poll. We want to thank you for reading and for listening to the releases over the last 3 weeks. We also want to thank the Nation newspaper for engaging in this exercise, which allows us to chronicle and chart public opinion in Barbados, and we look forward to another installment of public opinion polls from the Nation Cadres group within the not too distant future. Thank you.